Everett Sullivan will check back into the Louisville lineup, and he'll replace Keith Williams. Now this will be interesting because last night Louisville built up a big lead against Memphis State. Keith Williams went to the bench, and then the Cardinals became turnover prone.
Well, that is really one of the Achilles heel of Louisville, is that they don't handle the ball that well. They have great talent, but just they mishandle the ball.
Witherspoon got it back, gets it back again, and is fouled, and he'll go to the line.
Does that remind you of somebody?
What a bull under the backboard.
See, that's another way to get Felton Spencer in foul trouble.
First on Felton Spencer, and they're in the bonus situation. Clarence Witherspoon is an improved free throw shooter this year. You saw he's 70%, but last year he shot 59% from the line. He worked all summer on his free throw shooting. Did a little better last night than he's doing so far this afternoon.
Well, as I mentioned about Felton Spencer, improved confidence in your free throw percentage also makes you a better basketball player, because you don't worry about missing a shot or getting fouled. You'll go get it at the foul line.
That one goes off of Spencer and out of bounds.
But right away, you see a turnover with Keith Williams out of the lineup.
Southern Miss shooting just 36% from the line so far this afternoon with 4 out of 11.
They've got to throw the ball into Witherspoon. He's got Spencer on him. You've got to make Spencer play defense against him.
This is Kroll driving across the lane, had it blocked. Loose ball picked off by the Golden Eagles, thrown up and out of bounds. That looked to be more of a lob pass for Witherspoon.
Yes, it was a lob pass to Witherspoon. But when you got somebody like Felton Spencer in there, I'm not sure that's a wise lob pass.
Number 20, Jerome Jones, a 6'4" sophomore, into the game to replace Marcus Kroll. Southern Miss with Lacey, Jones, Witherspoon, Russell Johnson, and Darren Chancellor, who now has the ball.
Jones came in the game primarily because there are too many turnovers, just mishandling. Want to get Jones in and hopefully get him off offensively as well.
Chancellor looked like he had one down. Loose ball. Bounce pass underneath. Out of bounds.
It's Louisville ball.
Louisville. Darren Jenkins back into the Southern Miss lineup, replacing John Lacey. And Southern Miss, in a cold spell, has missed their last 5 shots.
Yeah, and a lot of that has to do with Louisville. They've gotten their hands on some balls. That particular time, Southern Miss tried to come up with it, but Louisville just too quick for it.
Kimbrough put it on the floor, lost it, regained it, and traveled. Fourth Louisville turnover, and we have 8:20 to play. First half.
You know, the other thing that bodes well for Southern Mississippi, last night they played in a game that was pretty much a blowout. Louisville had one going against Memphis State, and then they played themselves back into a game. You've got to wonder, does some of that fatigue factor come into play here?
Chancellor came very close to the half-court line. Shot clock at 9, inside Chancellor.
First time that I've seen a pass given to one of the Southern Miss players cutting to the basket. That's what they really need to do. They're doing too much standing, and that's why they can't get the ball nor get it in to Witherspoon.
Inside, Spencer. Spencer has 7, 24-18, Louisville. Chancellor with LaBradford Smith on it. Jones open. And over the backboard, it goes over to Louisville. And the clock stops with 6:58 to play in the first half. It's the Cardinals, 24-18.
The madness is coming in March. It's Wednesday morning in Ford County.
Hey, Dad, is it really true that full-size Chevy pickups have more two-sided galvanized steel than Ford?
That's right, son. The electrolytic deposition of zinc on steel protects it from chemical oxidation.
But I mean, if it helps stop rust, how come a big company like Ford doesn't use as much as Chevy?
I don't know, son. I just don't know.
Rust protection. No wonder people from Ford prefer Chevy trucks. Nobody's winning like the heartbeat of America.
At BASF, we don't make the plane. We make it lighter. We don't make the lotion. We make it smoother. We don't make the dress. We make it brighter. We don't make the carpet. We make it tougher. At BASF, we don't make a lot of the products you buy. We make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF, the spirit of innovation.
Bob, 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 the rubber rain. What do you think Mom's gonna do when we show up?
Hopefully she'll feed us.
Good to see you, you know, it's been too long.
One day it could all come down to a few inches. For those few inches, it's good to know you have Goodyear tires.
I guess they're home. I miss you.
I miss you too.
That's why we say the best tires in the world have Goodyear written all over them.
Just under 11,000 on hand here at the Mississippi Coast Coliseum in Biloxi for the Metro Conference Tournament Championship game. And Louisville, led by LaBradford Smith, who is 5 of 5 from the floor and 13 points, leads it with just under 7 minutes to play here in the first half.
Well, you know, Louisville does a good job of turning the corner. If you watch LaBradford Smith, he'll come off, Jerome Harmon, he comes off, and what he does is make the defense get on the high side of Felton Spencer, allowing Spencer to get in here for this easy hoop. So if you turn the corner on the as an offensive player, particularly coming off of Felton Spencer, Felton's man has to step up high side to protect you cutting inside, and then Spencer will lock you, allowing you to pass on the baseline.
Hard to believe, Felton Spencer at 6'6" was cut from his 6th grade team.
Wait, he was not a very good player at that time, and even to the point when he got at Louisville, everybody knew that he was a project, but credit must go to the young man. He worked extremely hard. He had someone tell him he was like an Odie doll, which he didn't too much appreciate, and he worked to get that label off him and has done a great job.
Jerome Harmon with the last hoop for Louisville, and it's 26-18. Down low, Jenkins almost lost it. Tough going in the lane, and out of bounds to Louisville. And in comes Marcus Kroll for the Golden Eagles.
MK Turk looking for anybody to come in and give him a lift offensively. They're just not doing a good job of scoring points. Jones couldn't get it into the basket. You get into a slump like that, Greg, the thing you need to have is just good defense. Eventually, your offense will come back to you.
Tony Kimbrough missed. Felton Spencer saves. Kimbrough back for Spencer and out of bounds to Louisville. The Hoyas leading UConn. Clemson by 2 over Virginia. And Vanderbilt leading Ole Miss. Here it's 26-18, 5:55 to play in the first half. Cardinals on top. Picked off, 2-on-1 for Southern Miss. Johnson found his man, and Felton Spencer just took it away. Back with a 3-on-2, out of bounds, and it goes over to Southern Miss.
At the extent of being repetitive, without Keith Smith in the middle to handle the ball, you got people in there like, you know, Sullivan and maybe Harmon, and that's just not something they do well on the break. They're better at catching the ball, making the play after the catch.
Johnson looking down low. Spencer knocked it away, and Spencer running the floor with the rest of the Cardinals. Here comes Harmon.
Everybody's down on that, and Kimbrough was the last one down, just looking at half court. I mean, even Spencer.
Louisville with its biggest lead of the day at 28-18.
When you're in a tournament situation, Greg, the thing you really need to be able to do is force people into your type of game. And where Southern Miss has run into trouble is they don't have anybody making jump shots, so all of the defense is collapsing in on Weatherspoon, and he's been relatively ineffective.
Jenkins blocked by Spencer. Tapped out of bounds. Belongs to the Golden Eagles. That shows you just how cold Southern Miss has been.
Credit must go to the Louisville defense. They've done an outstanding job on their part with that, too.
Cornelius Holden back into the game. Chancellor into the lane. Over Spencer. Slammed home by Weatherspoon. And the lead for Holden. Partially blocked. He'll go back up again and fouled. Check out Mr. Weatherspoon at the other end.
Well, right here, Chancellor takes the ball to the hole again, and the one thing, you see Felton Spencer go over to help, and he left Weatherspoon open. So if you attack the basket by just going there and bringing Felton Spencer to you, you give Weatherspoon a chance to get his dunk. He got the second foul on that. He was really protesting and trying to get away with one.
Cornelius Holden, who had an outstanding game in the regular season finale against Southern Mississippi. 14 of 14 from the floor. 4 for 4 from the free throw line. And another Weatherspoon rebound.
Well, that was dangerously close to being goaltending.
Louisville by 9. 4:15 to play, first half. This is Kroll as Weatherspoon sets up camp down low on Spencer.
He's got to move, though. He's standing, Weatherspoon has got to move. If he stands there, Felton Spencer can guard him very easily.
Shot clock at 13. Outside, Russell Johnson. Three-pointer doesn't go. Weatherspoon, rebound on the offensive boards and scores.
Did a little bit of his activity there. Better wake up. Felton Spencer's got a position inside, though.
9 points, 8 rebounds for Clarence Weatherspoon. Baseline, Harmon, fake, scores.
Basket, Jerome Harmon.
Greg, here's something that it looks as though it's happening to Southern Miss. When we saw them play last night, even in their half-court game, they were more aggressive than they are now. They just don't seem to be in the aggressive mood. And what I'm wondering is, when MK Turk said, take your time, did some of the guys interpret that to, let's really slow it down and not be as aggressive?
Jenkins didn't get it to go. Spencer got the rebound, and up ahead, Holden in the lane. Looks like he traveled, and he did. We have a timeout with exactly 3 minutes to play. Louisville 31, Southern Miss 22.
Very soon, the time will come for the next generation of America's best-selling full-size car, the 1991 Chevrolet Caprice. Prepare to be impressed.
When I'm fighting dandruff, I want all the help I can get. So now I'm using extra-strength Denorex with 39% more dandruff medicine. For my dandruff and itch, there's 39% more medicine in extra-strength Denorex. For great-looking hair, I can't get too much of a good thing.
See you guys later. So, what's Gary doing? Oh, nuclear engineering. Whoa, nuclear engineering?
You're all ahead 1/3.
Always studying, huh? But he hasn't been out of high school that long. Well, it's an accelerated program.
Today's Navy. High-tech training that takes you only one way. Full speed ahead.
You and the Navy, full speed ahead.
On our way back to Biloxi, Jim Nance here in New York. We're downtown in the first Big East tournament semifinal game. Georgetown is leading Connecticut by 4 just before halftime. We'll have all the scores and sports news at halftime. We'll also check in out in Kansas City with the men's basketball committee. They're deliberating right now, a day before Selection Day. Right now, though, let's send you right back to Greg and Quinn.
Thank you, Jim. 3 minutes exactly to play here in the first half. Louisville leading Southern Miss 31-22. Southern Miss looking for someone to give them a little spark.
They really need it. That's been the problem here. That's their problem is because Weatherspoon hasn't scored, nobody else has picked up the slack. Now, coming out of the timeout, they've even got Weatherspoon out of the game. So now you're really going to see him search for someone to find offense. The best person is Chancellor. We'll see if he steps up to it.
This is Crowell on the drive. Got the bucket and draws the foul.
Greg, you know, sometimes what happens is because your leading scorer goes out, somebody else steps up to the plate. You see right here, Marcus Crowell takes it to the basket. No question about the foul. As far as M.K. Turk is concerned, he doesn't care who steps up. Somebody step up here and help me. I need some offense.
Tony Kimbrough drawing his first foul.
I think some of the fans are complaining because they put the score on the wrong side. And believe me, down here in Southern Miss, they're not going to let you get away with that.
And now they've got it right, 31-24. Well, with the Golden Eagles home of Hattiesburg, about 60 miles away, fans down here couldn't be happier that Southern Miss has made it to the tournament final.
You know, but it's interesting, as we've talked to various people here, including John Cox, that does Southern Mississippi radio, the people at Southern Mississippi have not been used to having a program quite like this, so they're growing into the celebration of having a successful season.
Louisville's going to be successful as long as they get Felton Spencer inside with regularity. 9.7 boards for Spencer, 33-25 cards, 2:20 to play first half. Chancellor being pressured out front. Goes to the baseline. Nice shot by Darren Chancellor.
That's what he's capable of doing, and that was an aggressive play. Prior to that, he was being very passive, just moving the ball around, and you've got to differentiate. When do I take it to the hole aggressively, and when do I bring it back if their numbers don't work on the break?
Chancellor has 7. We're under 2 minutes. LaBradford Smith left open and hits. Smith now 6 out of 6 from the floor and 15 points.
Sounds like Bradford had a little talk with Cornelius Holden and said, I'm going to go for your record.
All alone at the top. Jenkins missed. And away comes Jerome Harmon, and he's fouled in the backcourt by Darren Chancellor.
But that's a good foul, Greg, because if he doesn't foul, when Darren Jenkins took the shot, Felton Spencer, having guarded Darren Jenkins, just took off. And without that foul by Darren Chancellor, you had a fast break dunk. So it actually turned out to be a very good foul.
There's M.K. Turk. We're told that M.K. never told anybody what the M and the K stood for. We asked him last night, and he said Malcolm, and then the K was just an initial. How do we know that's right? Here's LaBradford Smith going to go all the way in with the reverse.
Big game. He's had a big game, Greg. Didn't play nearly this well last night.
7 for 7 from the floor for LaBradford Smith, and 17 here in the first half as we approach 1 minute. Crowell, baseline drive, gets the bounce.
Boy, he's taking 2 tough shots and made it.
It's 9 for Crowell. 37-29. Harmon, no room on the baseline. Spencer, don't need it.
Don't need it. You can find Felton in there. You don't need a lot of room. And that's one of the reasons he doesn't have a lot of room, because Felton Spencer's taken up most of it.
Spencer has 11, half minute to play. 10-point Louisville lead.
They'll try to go for one shot. You see the 24 seconds, and that's in the game. The shot clock is off. Want to try to go in here down less than double digits.
Both coaches shouting instructions. You see Denny Crum on the sideline, top of your picture.
This is who should take the shot.
Chancellor, got it. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. The long heave was close. Was very close. We're at halftime. Louisville 39, Southern Miss 31.
Look out tomorrow.
If
If you're considering a new car, consider that this legendary American car company has outsold every brand of import for the past 6 years. The company, Pontiac. The reason? Americans have always preferred distinctive, technically advanced automobiles. And now all this Pontiac excitement is especially affordable.
That was some storm we had last night. At times like this, it's reassuring to know that MetLife has the resources to pay every single customer claim, no matter how many come in at one time. Get Met, it pays.
Monday After City, will Murphy see the humor when she inspires a sitcom?
Of course, I'd be happy to help you.
The blonde leading the blonde.
Morgan Fairchild guests on Murphy Brown. Then, are designing women macho enough to handle these men?
Macho we will be.
Nice headlights. Hey, I'm trying.
And all new Designing Women Monday.
This is CBS. As the old saying goes, the best things in life are free. At Great Financial Federal, checking accounts are free when you maintain a $200 minimum daily balance. And while some banks are beginning to charge for Quest transactions, a Great Financial Federal Quest card is still a free ticket to all the Quest machines in this area. So if service charges and Quest fees are adding up, why not move your account to Great Financial Federal, your key to financial security?
JSTV, the first 40 years.
Welcome back to New York on the road to the Final Four. Jim Nantz along with James Brown and Jim Gray. We continue on this busy weekend, and of course by the end of tomorrow we'll have all 64 teams in the tournament, and we'll find out where they're playing as well. And later today, let's remind everyone, we'll have Game 2 from the Big East semifinals. That's Villanova and Syracuse. Right now in the first semifinal game, Georgetown and Connecticut are playing. They're nearing halftime, and the Hoyas lead in that one by 4 over the Huskies of Connecticut. James, 16 teams are in right now. We know that. Another team qualified today. That's 1/4 of the field. Get us caught up on some of the scores.
All right, a familiar name in NCAA tournament circles, of course, is Louisville in the Metro Championship. They're trying to find their pre-tournament stride. They're leading Southern Mississippi by the score of 39-31. That game at the halfway point. In the ACC semifinals, Terry Holland's Virginia team trying to stay alive, trailing Clemson 32-28. That game in the second half. They're a Big 8 semifinal. Colorado, of course, a big winner the other day over Missouri, trailing Oklahoma State. That game early in the first half. SEC semifinal, Vanderbilt, of course, the big victory last night, leading Mississippi 40-33. That game in the second half. Boston University from the North Atlantic Championship, they are in the NCAA tournament. That 16th team that Jimmy was talking about, Mike Jarvis, looking to get back into the tournament since 1988. That was the last appearance. Got some good three-point shooting from Steve Key. Boston University out by 12. But the big man was Bill Brigham, led him with 28 points, and BU goes on to the victory. They become the 16th team in the tournament. They win at 75-57. And in Big Ten action, Minnesota and Ohio State. Ohio State certainly could help their cause getting into the tournament, Jimmy, if they hold on for the victory there.
That's a big one there. Perhaps 7 teams, it looks like, from the Big Ten in the field of 64. All right, James, we continue to monitor the baseball situation. Jim Gray's here with the latest. Anything new today, Jim?
Well, there are no meetings scheduled for today and none scheduled for tomorrow. Everybody's gone to their respective homes. The commissioner's up in Connecticut and disgusted with the entire process. He's said to be reconsidering or opening up training camps, ordering that they be open. If that was the case, everybody could be back to work within 24 hours. And since there are no meetings scheduled for today or tomorrow, that would mean Monday, and everybody has said on all sides to me that if there's no agreement by Monday, opening day is definitely scrubbed.
You know what's amazing to me? We're talking about 1 year for the arbitration. How many players and what kind of dollars are we really talking about holding this season up?
We're talking about a $1.3 billion industry being held up by about 40 players and anywhere from $8 to $10 million. That's the difference right here. It's really crazy.
All right, Jim, I know you'll be sticking with that story. You know, it gets confusing around here. Jim, and James. We'll check in with Kansas City as we continue on the road to the Final Four in just a moment.
You want a deal?
The
Oldsmobile Cutlass Sierra is one of America's most popular cars, and it's about to get a lot more popular. We've rolled back the price on the Cutlass Sierra S Sedan by $500. Plus, factory-to-dealer incentives of $750 to $1,250 may be passed on to you. And qualified first-time buyers can get $600 cash back. That can mean up to $2,350 on a new Sierra S. See your Olds dealer now for details and deals.
On a new generation, Oldsmobile.
The cold of an icicle feels so nice as it tickles your tongue with a taste to entice.
Now Diet 7-Up with NutraSweet's got more 7-Up taste in an icy new can.
The new taste of cold. Go on, break the ice.
Introducing new extra-strength Rolaids, 250 milligrams stronger than Tums EX, 1,000 milligrams of fast relief. This settles it, once and for all.
With so much to do and so little time, when it's time to finance or lease your new GM vehicle, let GMAC do it right in the dealership. GMAC. Nobody wants to get you into your new GM car or truck faster, so you'll have time for more important things.
We go above and beyond just like you, above and beyond what we have to do, caring for what's special to you.
I'm a Prudential representative, and what's really important to me when I go into someone's home is to help them save money on their homeowner's insurance, because I know I'm a homeowner too.
Taking care to protect what's important to you, the Rock, the Prudential, above and beyond.
The champion, Japan's Midori Ito. Last year, she took on the world and won, igniting the ice with a display of athletic prowess never before seen in the sport. The challenger, Jill Trenery, three-time American champion and the most breathtaking stylist in the sport today. The dark horse, Christy Yamaguchi, America's rising sensation and an 85-pound force to be reckoned with. 3 women, 1 dream. CBS Sports presents the World Figure Skating Championships tonight.
Welcome back to our New York studio. Jim Nantz along with James Brown and our resident tournament expert, Mike Francesa. Tomorrow, 6:30 Eastern Time, our live tournament selection show. We'll find out once and for all who the 64 teams in this year's NCAA tournament will be and where they'll play. NCAA Men's Basketball Committee right now is sorting out the field in Kansas City, and Tim Brandt fills us in on the latest. Tim?
The NCAA Selection Committee has been meeting since Thursday night. They've been sequestered on the 40th floor here at the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Kansas City, deciding which schools will be among the 64-team field for this year's NCAA basketball tournament. And good afternoon, everybody. I'm Tim Brandt, and this will be our home for the next 2 days. We're in the ballroom of the Hyatt Regency Hotel, just a short elevator ride away from where the selection committee is meeting, even as we speak. You know, in just about 28 hours from now, these boards will be filled and the brackets will be complete, and we'll be announcing the 64-team field to you. So how does the process work? How are the teams selected? Take a look and listen. First, there's tension, and then... So what's all the excitement about? How about a bid to the NCAA basketball tournament? And here's how it works. 30 teams get automatic berths by virtue of winning their conference championships. 34 teams get at-large bids, totaling 64. But how are the 34 at-large teams selected?
There's a pool of 263 institutions who are competing for 34 at-large positions. And, you know, the basic thing that we're trying to get to is strength of schedule.
After strength of schedules are determined, the committee picks the rest of the field by going through charts and polls to determine each team's rating power index. Confused by it all? So are the coaches.
I guess I'm not smart enough to understand. I've only had 62 years of education, so hopefully I'll learn it someday.
I don't know what it means, but that's the way they do it.
What is it? Jiminy Christmas, you sound like one of my old nuns when they said, how many of you know the answer to that? And I raised my hand thinking, boy, I'm going to impress them. And they said, Dale, what's the answer to that?
Hey, Dale, it goes like this. First, it's your win-loss percentage. Then your opponent's record. then your opponent's record. And after all that is calculated, you have your field of 64.
He's probably doing about as good a job as they can.
If you look at the seeding process and look at what they've done, pretty much it's played to farm, which means the NCAA selection committee has done a good job.
It's one of those things that it's an imperfect world, it's an imperfect system, and I think the men that have done it have done a good job.
The process is oftentimes confusing, sometimes controversial, and because of the automatic bursts, you don't necessarily have the best 64 teams in the nation in the tournament. But you do have the fairest possible way to select the 64 teams in the field. Now, when you talk to the committee, they tell you they go out of their way to see teams both competitively and geographically. And a little bit later today, we'll talk with Jim Delaney, the chairman of the selection committee, find out how far along they are on the process and what problems they are having. But right now, that's all from Kansas City. We'll see you a little bit later.
All right, thank you very much, Tim Brandt. And Mike Francesa, we heard there from Dale Brown. LSU lost yesterday in the SEC tournament, a surprise, but this is a team that will be in the NCAA field. What about the Tigers? Where do you see them as a seed?
Here's a team that was picked as high as #1 preseason. I think, Jim, they'll be a 6th seed. And when you realize that's going to make some bracket very, very tough.
Well, that'll be a strong 6th seed.
Michael, certainly the selection committee has been at this long enough to have the process down pat, but what do you think will be their most difficult task?
I think, James, every year it's fitting 8 teams, 9 teams into 4 or 5 slots, those on-the-fence teams, separating the teams in the Big West or the Big 8, those middle-rung teams in there, and trying to differentiate between those. That's the toughest part.
All right, Mike. We're going to talk about teams on the bubble on our tournament preview show after this game, prior to our Villanova-Syracuse contest. But right now, we continue on the road to the Final Four right after this.
At 1,184,880 miles, a Mercedes-Benz 180D is in the Guinness Book of World Records as the world's most durable car. Just how far can a Mercedes actually go? Frankly, nobody knows.
BF Goodrich TA tires perform like great athletic shoes. They grab. They dig.
BF Goodrich TA tires.
BF Goodrich TA tires, the athletic shoes for your car.
BF Goodrich TA tires.
This is CBS.
Great spirit and teamwork are a tradition at Louisville. It's good to look back and relive every victory, but the Cardinals don't rest on their laurels. No, sir. The great moments of the past are ideals to live up to, today, tomorrow, and always.
This week at Kroger, save on Lipton tea bags, only $1.75. Gourmet selection Tyson entrees, 2 for just $5. And frozen Kroger light shrimp entrees, now 2 for $5.
Chemistry is interesting because you can use 2 elements and come up with something totally different. Math and science are my best subjects. It's always come easy for me. I think I'd like to make chemical engineering a career. Whatever I do for a career, I want to help people.
The National Honor Society will be happy.
Chemistry touches each of us every day. At Roman Haas, we appreciate teachers and students who share our interest in chemistry's world of discovery.
Action 11 News Night Team on WHAS TV. CBS Sports coverage of today's Metro Conference Championship game is sponsored by 7-Up and your local 7-Up bottlers. 7-Up, the cool spot. Allstate for home, auto, life, and business insurance. You're in good hands with Allstate. And by Mercedes-Benz, engineered like no other car in the world.
On the Gulf of Mexico, welcome back to the Mississippi Coast Coliseum, everyone. At halftime, Louisville leads Southern Miss by a score of 39-31 in the final of the Metro Conference Tournament Championship. Greg Gumbel along with Quinn Buckner. At the top of the day, we talked about the matchup between Felton Spencer and Clarence Weatherspoon. Has it happened?
Yeah, it's happened in a lot of ways, very positively, obviously, for Louisville. Felton Spencer scored well inside. He's a big body. You know, he's got 9 points. He's got 7 rebounds. On the defensive end, he's been the one primarily really guarding Weatherspoon, and in doing so, Weatherspoon is scoring, but he's not scoring as repeatedly as he normally does.
Let's show you how Felton Spencer has been breaking free inside, and that, of course, has been the main concern for the Golden Eagles.
Well, Felton is just going to go off of this. He'll just start down the paint, and then once again, that rub-off we talk about, he'll come off on the rub, and Felton just go here. He'll lock off inside, and then the drive, the penetration, and the kick, and that's how Felton gets his shot.
And of course, the backcourt is intent on trying an open Felton Spencer underneath.
He's a big target. He's pretty hard to miss, Greg, but what he's done is it's been a good job in being a target, and you don't always get big men to do that. I think that's one of the things Lenny Crum has done a great job with.
Louisville has been burning up the hoops from the floor 63% in the first half. Three-point shooting, Southern Miss has been woeful in 6 attempts. Louisville has tried 2 and hit 2. And in the backcourt, it's been a show by LaBradford Smith.
He got off early, and that's critical for him because it gets you going both inside and outside. And with Felton Spencer playing well inside, now you have that challenge.
Louisville only lost once when holding a lead at halftime, and that one, the Louisville coaching staff says, was a giveaway to Ohio State.
We can't say that's a complete giveaway now. I'm a Big Ten. I mean, Ohio State might have played this a little bit, had something to do with that.
Marcus Kroll, 44. Darren Chancellor, 23. Russell Johnson with the ball, 22. Witherspoon, 35. And Darren Jenkins on the court, getting it started for Southern Miss. That shot doesn't go. Loose ball out of bounds, and it belongs to Southern Miss.
Well, M.K. Turk is trying to get his team up in play number 1. But Malcolm came over here, and he looked somewhat in disarray. It's like, how did I miss that shot? Because he didn't take it to the basket aggressively. He should have dunked it on Felton, but Felton lets him get that close.
Here's Witherspoon. Up and over Spencer. Doesn't go. Spoon with the rebound. And they'll set it up again. Kroll on the drive. Kroll has shown a real aggressiveness with the drive in this game.
He's the only one that's really shown it, Greg, and he's got to do more of that.
Here's Spencer, uncontested.
That's why I said he's got to show more, obviously. If Spencer gets that position, what has happened as a rule is Louisville comes down and scores with relative ease. All of a sudden, Southern Mississippi has to come back, and they got to push it around 5 or 6 times, and guys are faking, and they're really not into any offensive rhythm.
41-33 Louisville. Spencer, 13 points on 6 of 6 from the field. Same starting lineup for Louisville.
You've got to take it at Spencer.
Here's Jenkins, baseline, short hook, doesn't go, tap up no good, and the foul is on Spencer. That's number 2 on Felton Spencer. We'll remind you that near the conclusion of today's game, we'll select the Chevrolet most valuable players from each school, and in their honor, Chevrolet will donate a $1,000 scholarship to the general scholarship fund of each school. That's coming up later in today's game. The lob for Jenkins. He lost the handle, went back up for it, threw the foul, and he'll shoot 2.
When you talk to some of the coaching staff about Louisville, one of the things that they talked about, and particularly as they were telling us earlier today, Louisville has a tendency to lose their concentration. They get leads and they lose it. And additionally, I thought they played with much more enthusiasm yesterday than I see today. And as you go on in the tournament, you've got to be able to maintain your own intensity without regard to the level of competition. I think Louisville at this point is not doing that, and they're allowing Southern Mississippi to stay in the game.
Southern Miss continues to struggle from the free throw line. Last night's semifinal, Louisville defeated Memphis State 76-73 in a game that should have been nowhere near that close.
You're right. They had a 20-point lead with 12 minutes to go, and it came down to a 4-point game by Memphis State by just staying after it.
41-33 Cardinals. Smith got another one. That was 3. 8 for 8 from the floor. 20 points for LaBradford Smith. And it's an 11-point Louisville lead. In the lane. Spoon missed an easy one, and Jenkins was fouled on the rebound.
Now Felton got that foul. He went in there half-heartedly, went in for the rebound half-heartedly, Now he's got 3 fouls, and then he's got to get him out of the game.
Here comes Tony Kimbrough. And if Southern Miss is going to talk about making hay while the sun shines, the time is now.
You hit it right on the head, Greg. It's right now at 17:45 to go. They're down 11. This is their opportunity to make things happen.
$17:40 to play, second half.
It's almost as though Southern Miss is looking for one of their teammates to take charge here, and nobody's stepping up to the plate.
Plenty of time on the shot clock. It's down to 23. Crowell in the lane. No. Rebound. Russell Johnson up and in.
Coach Spencer out of the game. You got guards in there rebounding now.
Lead cut to 9. Holden on the inside and is going to kick it back out. Keith Williams now down low. Sullivan's shot, no good. Off the board, Kimbrough there. And Louisville crashing the offensive boards, and they'll go to the line. And LaBradford Smith holding an ankle. And comes up limping. Says he's okay, but Jerome Harmon is going to come in to spell him.
His first team first.
Meanwhile, personal foul number 1 on Marcus Crowell.
Well, there are 2 kinds of games you don't want to get involved in with Louisville. You just saw an example of one of them. One is fast break. The other one is just where you have it as a high jump contest, because Louisville has those quick jumpers that can just go back up and get it 2 and 3 times, and they got 3 or 4 different guys that can go up and do that.
Two points now for Cornelius Holden, the sophomore from Los Angeles. Make it 3 as he hits both free throws, and it's an 11-point lead for Louisville. #31, John Lacey is into the game. And Darren Chancellor nails one from outside to cut it back to 9. Fans here in Biloxi just looking for an excuse to back the Golden Eagle. Out of the corner, Everett Sullivan's shot is off, and Chancellor comes up with the loose ball. Here comes Southern Miss. Shot no, Spoon follows, and he's got it. And draws the foul.
Well, again, that's the absence of Charlton Spencer, and his replacement on that time, Golden, got himself back a little too late. And you saw the big fella get in there and slam dunk it.
Number 30, Cornelius Holden, is second.
Clarence Witherspoon about to grab his 10th rebound of the game.
Well, you'll see him on the right side of your screen, and he just makes in there, and Malcolm misses the shot. And Cornelius Holden just didn't block him out. And you've got to keep a body on a player as active as this young man. He's averaging 15 rebounds here in the tournament, so everybody should understand that Clarence Witherspoon is an outstanding rebounder.
Southern Miss still having problems cashing in at the free throw line. 46-39, Louisville.
At this point in the game, you play good inside defense, and you make Louisville, and you don't want to give them a foul like that, but you don't want them to get it inside, so make them shoot jump shots.
The call is on 6'7" freshman John Lacey from Shibuda, Mississippi. And we have a timeout on the floor. 15:58 to play, second half. It's Louisville 46, Southern Miss 39.
The madness is coming in March.
Over the past decade, all other lines of cars have led Mercedes-Benz in one crucial category: depreciation. Which proves that sometimes great cars finish last. Mercedes-Benz, the resale legend.
If you've got yourself a car, and you've got yourself a house, you could be on your way to some very nice savings. Because with Allstate Homeowners Insurance and an excellent driving record, you could save up to 15% on your auto insurance. And 15% could mean big money for all the important little things.
What a day.
The Allstate Auto Advantage, another reason. A member of the Sears Financial Network.
Tell me, is he still upset?
Well, you know Dad.
Never really understood why I joined. I mean, maybe you'll go straight to college. But I had to prove something to myself first.
The GI Bill and Army College Fund. If you qualify, you can get more than $25,000 for college and an edge on life.
Do you think Dad'll ever come around? Dad?
Welcome back, everyone. Want to remind you to join us tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern Time for the NCAA Tournament Selection Show with your host, Tim Brandt. We'll tell you when and where your favorite teams will play. 16 teams already in the NCAA Tournament. Several more to be named today and tomorrow. Tomorrow live at 6:30 Eastern on CBS Sports, home of the NCAA Basketball Championship. 15:58 to play. Louisville 46, Southern Miss 39. And Keith Williams with the ball for Louisville. This is Kimbrough, turnaround, short. Gets the rebound and scores.
Well, the interesting thing when you think about Tony Kimbrough is last year he played a lot of basketball for Louisville. But they've come back and now they have Jerome Harmon who's gotten himself on the club. And now you very seldom if ever see or you see very little of Tony Kimbrough.
Bradford Smith trying to get the steal and does. Saves it for Williams. Harmon. 50 to 39.
Louisville's come out and changed defense with Pelton out of the game. They're really going to flatten it out. I mean by that, they're going to back up and make the Golden Eagles shoot jump shots. They haven't been able to make them, so you force it at them.
Crowell going to put it up and hit. Marcus Crowell continues to excel. 50 to 41. Crowell has 13. Bradford Smith and Keith Williams in the backcourt. Holden, Kimbrough, Harmon up front for Louisville. Smith in the lane, lost it, regained it. Back outside, Harmon to the baseline. And a foul is called. And that will go against Crowell. That's his second. And there's M.K. Turk.
Well, M.K. is the one that usually changes the defenses here. Right now, what he's going to do is he's going to leave his team in there man-to-man, but it becomes a little more aggressive. I'd like to see, as a matter of fact, Southern Mississippi, if you put pressure on the ball, make the rest of the guys shoot jump shots. You just don't let it get inside. Make Louisville beat you with the jump shot.
Holden, nowhere to go with it. Back outside. Smith had it batted away and regained. The lob for Holden, rather, who regains his score.
I'm telling you, that was a great stop because Bradford Smith threw the ball. I thought he was throwing it out of bounds, and all of a sudden Holden was able to get up and put it on the glass to keep it from going out of bounds.
Louisville matches its largest lead at 11. Here's Lacey with the quick turn in the lane.
I was about to say throw the ball. Lacey was standing there wide open, and Johnson looked at him and wouldn't throw it to him. They're not getting too many easy inside baskets.
52-43, Keith Williams open as his man Russell Johnson fell to the floor. That's Keith Williams' first shot and first points of the day. That one tapped out of bounds by Williams. And Felton Spencer back into the lineup. Number 50 replaces Cornelius Holden.
Golden Eagles missed a golden opportunity there. Felton Spencer back in the game.
Second half score from Madison Square Garden, Georgetown in Connecticut.
Louisville gets in this kind of defense, Greg. They're more in kind of a preservation mode. They're preserving the lead. They're not going to expose themselves to a lot of fouls.
Kroll hits again. Marcus Kroll with 15 points. He came in averaging 9, and Felton Spencer answers at the other end. Here's Chancellor, top of the key, three-pointer doesn't go. Rebound, Weatherspoon. Boy, he plays big.
He plays big. The other thing with Felton Spencer in foul trouble, see, Felton does not want to foul out of a game as well. You shouldn't, but he really becomes passive. He'll let you make that shot.
Well, Bradford Smith is now 9 out of 9 and 22 points. Chancellor. Two-point attempt doesn't fall. He's got the rebound and he draws a foul. Let's see who gets this one. Foul is on Keith Williams.
Keith Williams.
That's number 3 on Williams.
Third. Team fifth.
Kroll to the baseline. And Kimbrough has the rebound. Cardinals push it up, and here's Harmon inside. Pass got away, and here come the Golden Eagles. 4 on 2. Johnson fakes and scores.
They can turn a couple of those opportunities over. They'll put themselves in good shape. They've got to create some turnovers because Louisville at this point is in, again, a preservation mode. They don't want to turn it over, so they're not going to force the action.
And now the Southern Miss fans get into it.
Southern Miss has gone into a zone defense, a 1-2-2.
Kimbrough shot rebounded by Harmon. And back out to Williams. Williams got it. And Witherspoon and Kimbrough talking to each other a little bit.
Now, the officials don't come in when they're just talking to each other. They're doing a little more than that.
Negotiating. And with that, we'll have a stoppage of play on the floor. 11:19 to play in the second half. It's Louisville by 11.
What's it take to win in college basketball? What's it take to win in 7-Up's college basketball championship game? That hard work could win you a limited edition Ford Mustang or a chance at prizes worth $20 million. So start practicing. 1 in 12 are winners.
There are 100 reasons to own a Mercedes-Benz. For John and me, it keeps coming down to just 2.
From the Far East to Europe. Across the Caribbean and throughout North America, only one airline covers so much of the world with so much warmth.
The glittering stars of L.A. will get a taste of some Southern inhospitality. Lakers, Hawks, Sunday.
Mississippi Coast Coliseum in Biloxi, the site of the Metro Conference Tournament Championship game. Louisville leads it by 11, thanks largely to the performance of LaBradford Smith, who is 9 out of 9 from the floor for 22 points, and Felton Spencer hasn't been doing a bad job either. Spencer, 7 for 7 from the floor, and you remember the doctors of dunk, don't you, Mr. Buckner?
Yes, I do, and then this is after a fast break opportunity. You see Louisville's got 4-2, but you see Felton Spencer, that's a 7-footer running up and down the court.
Felton Spencer gets his fair share of running in, too. 37 dunks, and The Birds have been leading the nation all year in that category, and they don't slow down come tournament time.
Not at all. They really get excited. They have kind of little internal games to see who's going to get the most dunks. And you see Felton Spencer is leading the group now.
Call him Chief. We asked him before the game where he got that nickname, and he said, Purvis Ellison gave it to me. And we asked him why.
Yeah, I guess he's a little aggressive in practice, and he gets into a lot of little skirmishes. Now, the Chief I know at Boston is for clearly the other reason. Gets in very few, if any, skirmishes.
10:50 to play. 11-point Louisville lead. Southern Miss looking to crack it open. Get back into the game.
You know, I think that to an extent, if Southern Mississippi would take advantage of this, they could do themselves good. And what I meant is you see the jump shot made by Darren is that at this point, Louisville becomes almost too passive in that zone. And you've got to worry about that. If they become too passive, now they don't attack the basket. They don't attack you on the defensive end. It allows you to get back in the game.
This is Harmon out of the corner. Boy, what a talent Jerome Harmon is.
Can't let him play horse. Got to get a hand in his face or something.
12 points for Harmon.
See, and Denny Crum is taking his team out of that zone. He saw that all of a sudden they were just standing there. It's not an active zone at all.
Chancellor comes up short, follows the shot but lost it to Williams. And here come the Cardinals, 3-on-2. Williams back to Harmon. Baseline shot, no, and Jenkins has the rebound. Almost lost it. Chancellor in the lane, and Darren Jenkins slams it home. .52-53.
Well, they got to start pointing the ball. Southern Mississippi's got to put somebody on the ball. Else Louisville they'll pound it. There's no need to be in a hurry for them.
The lob for Spencer. And Darren Jenkins ventured a little too far away from home.
That's kind of you. As this man dunks the basketball.
Spencer now 8 out of 8 from the field, and the Eagles throw it away.
Yeah, this is a wise timeout by M.K. Turk because the wheels are coming off.
8:57 to play. Louisville 64, Southern Miss 53. CBS Sports coverage of the Metro Conference Tournament Championship will continue after this word from your local station.
This is CBS.
When in the course of human events it becomes necessary. The Declaration of Independence. It told the world it was important for us to choose for ourselves, to make the decisions that affect our lives ourselves. Liberty National Bank is Louisville's largest independent bank. It's people right here in Louisville making the financial decisions you need right here in Louisville, independently. There are banks, and there is liberty.
Your first house, the biggest investment you've ever made. How will you protect it? Call Allstate before you close for answers and comforting prices. Another reason.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
There's another way for new homeowners to save money. The Allstate New House Discount. It could save you up to 15% on Allstate homeowners insurance. Another reason.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
CBS Sports coverage of today's Metro Conference Championship game is sponsored by Michelob Dry. Bold taste with no aftertaste. Mick Dry refreshes completely. Extra strength Rolaids with 1,000 milligrams of fast relief. And by Mazda Cars and Trucks. Mazda, it just feels right.
Yes, that was Quinn Buckner you saw on that shrimp boat out there in the Gulf. I want to remind you to join us tomorrow at 6:30 Eastern Time, the NCAA Tournament Selection Show with your host, Tim Brandt. We'll tell you when and where your favorite teams play. Tomorrow live at 6:30 Eastern here on CBS Sports, home of the NCAA Basketball Championship. And later today at 4 o'clock Eastern Time, it'll be Game 2 of the Big East semifinals, Villanova against Syracuse. Winner of that game will play the winner of University of Connecticut versus Georgetown. Here return. 8:57 to play. Second half. Louisville leading at 64-53. 11-point lead and the ball. And now Southern Miss has come out of its zone and gone back to man-to-man.
Wisely so. They've got to come out and try to do that, Greg. But they're at this point not playing with any real pop. And they're sorely at a disadvantage when they don't do that.
Spencer in the lane. 9 out of 9 from the floor for Spencer. He and LaBradford Smith together, 18 for 18. And it's tough to beat that kind of basketball.
Well, it really is. I know why Felton is doing it. This is his last go-round here for the Metro.
Shot from the side is good by Ron Rembert, a 6'4" freshman from Orrville, Alabama. His first 2 points. As we approach 8 minutes to play, it's an 11-point Cardinal lead. Whistle down low, and that is Felton Spencer's 4th personal foul.
At least done well to stay away from fouls as a rule. But you see him right in the middle of your screen, and you see he's trying to be helped. Darren Chancellor tries to hold him up. Darren Jenkins, that is. And then he just backs in, and the official felt that he was too aggressive.
Well, if it isn't Denny Crum's worst nightmare, it's close.
Yeah, it really is, because he's got to get him out of there now.
Cornelius Holden will check back in at the next whistle. Here's Rembert. Doesn't go. Jenkins follows and just threw it up. Tap no good, and Spencer with the rebound. Keith Williams to LaBradford Smith. And there's his first miss of the day. Witherspoon rebounds. Eagles on the run. Johnson for Jenkins.
Mind you, that's only a mini run, but it's going to be one that they can probably add to because Felton Spencer's going to come out.
Spencer inside. No. He traveled. And with 6:59 showing on the clock, Spencer will take a seat on the bench. Let's see who takes the task of guarding Witherspoon. It's Holden.
Holden's got him, and some of it, I've watched Witherspoon, and more so today than yesterday. Holden is not, Witherspoon, I mean, is making himself a target. He's standing there, Greg, and some of that, I'm sure, is that he's tired. But to go through the Metro Championship, you've got to understand, you've got to dig down and come up with whatever it takes to make this thing happen.
Chancellor will go to the line to shoot 2. He has 13 points on the day. Here's Felton Spencer.
This fella's really come a long way. I saw him as a freshman, and I'm not exaggerating. He's terrible. But now I'm telling you, he is good. He's a good player in college, and he's going to be a great player at the next level as well.
Chancellor hits them both. It's a 7-point Louisville lead with plenty of time left. 6:36.
They change defense again. They come to a 1-2-2. This is a trapping defense. If it goes in the corner, they like to get out and trap that.
Williams in the corner. Harmon will kick it back out. Here's Harmon. Short pop. No, loose ball picked off by Jenkins. And Southern Miss looking to cut it to 5 or less. On the way, Johnson, foul. That basket will not count. But Russell Johnson went into overdrive partway down the lane.
Saw an opening and just took advantage of it, Greg. But what I noticed is when Spencer had gone out of the game and Denny Crum just got him up to come back, all of a sudden, Southern Mississippi was down 10, and it was almost the exact same thing, but the time was different from yesterday. Instead of being down 20, Memphis State was down yesterday with 10 minutes to go. You got the reverse. Now, here, with Spencer coming back in the game, you see the free throws, which are very good for Southern Mississippi. All of a sudden, Louisville got themselves in a little bit of drag because they weren't attacking the basket. And that's exactly what they did last night.
One out of two on that trip to the line for Russell Johnson. It's a 6-point Louisville lead. Southern Miss has scored 7 straight points. And listen to the fans here in Biloxi.
Change defense again. 2-1-2. Keep Jenkins in the middle so he can get around to Spencer.
And Keith Williams going to take some time off the clock.
One of the things Denny is pretty good at is reading zone defenses and being able to tell his players where the holes are.
There's one. Spencer taking it strong to the basket, and he'll go to the free throw line. Clarence Weatherspoon was fouled. Spencer, 19 points, 10 rebounds. A superb performance today.
And not counted in that, and an intangible is how many shots he's altered. Because I've watched Darren Jenkins miss 2 shots because he's looking out of the corner of his eye for Felton Spencer. Spencer never got over there, but if you got Jenkins looking for him, it's as good as a block.
21 for Spencer. 8-point Louisville lead. 5:15 to play in the game. On the baseline, Johnson scoops it home.
Spencer with his 4th foul, didn't want to get his 5th allowed Luke Johnson get in there. Russell Johnson make that basket.
68-62, Louisville by 6. And Denny Crum wants timeout, and now he gets the call. Crum wants to talk things over with 4:42 to play. The Cardinals have seen their lead dwindle to 6.
One Dry is brewed longer. One Dry is brewed from the most expensive ingredients. One Dry refreshes completely. One taste, and you'll know why. The One Dry is Michelob Dry.
The good, the bad, the bumpy. Whatever the road, a Michelin is built to give you all the miles we're famous for. Ride 'em, cowboy.
Introducing new extra-strength Rolaids, 250 milligrams stronger than Tums EX, 1,000 milligrams of fast relief. This settles it, once and for all.
Mazda isn't shouting about its spring sales event. Not with values like this 626. With more room and a better basic warranty than Honda Accord, it's priced $966 less. And now get $1,000 cash back plus air or automatic at no extra charge. With up to $1,810 in value, we don't have to shop. But maybe we want to.
At your local Mazda dealers now.
The thing you've got to do is stay aggressive. Southern Mississippi has got a chance to catch Felton Spencer looking, and he's not paying any attention to his man, so you take the ball to the basket. So you just drive it at him, try to freeze him, and once he goes back to help out, then you just either find somebody in there or you shoot it. That time it was a pass-off. Just froze him, and now he's got 4 fouls. He doesn't want to get his 5th, so you see him back off. Now, that's another trademark of Felton Spencer. When he gets his 4th, he becomes extremely passive, and he's so critical to Louisville's team that you've got to wonder how much that's going to hurt them.
Approaching 4.5 minutes to play. 68-62 Louisville. And Southern Miss back into the man-to-man. Holden down the lane. Doesn't go. Loose ball. Here comes Mrs. Southern Miss. They lost it. And the foul, Holden will go to the line. M.K. Turk has his face in his hand, and he knows what happened. The Eagles were just too excited about the fast break possibility and lost the basketball.
They blew an opportunity. Look right there. There are 3 Golden Eagles all thinking that somebody else is going to get the ball, and that's just a cardinal mistake. Anytime the ball is out there, assume nobody can get to it but you. Get down and get the loose ball.
Third personal foul on Darren Chancellor, and Holden misses his first. Holden comes into this game a 74% free throw shooter. Makes the second one, and it's 69-62 Cardinals.
Psychological, Greg, that could have been a big swing because Southern Mississippi was looking at a fast break, and they ended up giving up a point instead of getting the shot.
Let's see if the Golden Eagles take it to Felton Spencer. Inside, Witherspoon was fouled, but it wasn't Spencer who let him go.
No, but it was a good call. I mean, you hit it right on the head. Holden came over to help out, but the pass went inside to Witherspoon, and again, Spencer backed away. Holden came to help out.
The challenge will come inside, but it won't come from Spencer.
That's right, and that's the thing that Southern Mississippi should do. Take the ball at Spencer and expose him, make him do something.
69-63. Charles Barkley prone if there ever was one. Witherspoon hits them both, and the Louisville lead is 5.
The difference might be he's looking down. Witherspoon's looking down on 6'6", and Charles Barkley's looking up at 6'6".
Smith to Harmon, and Harmon drills it.
You know, you watch Jerome Harmon. He makes those shots, and you know he has people flying after him. It's like nothing's around him but the basket. He just strokes it, goes back, and gets on the defensive end.
Denny Crum has found it necessary to suspend Harmon now and again. Remember, long-range shot doesn't fall. Keith Williams comes away with the ball.
You know, and with good reason. He's trying to remind the young man that, you know, yes, your basketball is fine, but your academics are more important. So he's reminded Jerome Harmon on more than one occasion about that.
Denny Crum calls time with 3:16 to play, and he wants to know exactly what his team is going to do in these final minutes. Louisville with the lead. We'll be back. To the NCAA, Louisville with the lead. We'll give you a look at the timeout situation remaining here in Biloxi. And should there be a jump ball call, the all-important possession arrow favors the Cardinals of Louisville. I want to remind you, tonight at 8 Eastern Time, join us for a CBS Sports Special as our Olympic Winterfest Series continues with the World Figure Skating Championships from Halifax, Nova Scotia. Vern Lundquist, Scott Hamilton, Pat O'Brien on guest tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Time here on CBS. Harmon, Holden, LaBradford Smith, Felton Spencer, and Keith Williams on the court for Louisville. And here's Spencer. Short hook off the glass, doesn't fall, loose ball. And we're going to go the other way.
Boy, Louisville got lucky. This foul is on Jerome Harmon, but I tell you, the official had a choice because Felton Spencer was right in the midst of that one. And they surely don't want to lose him.
That's number 3 on Jerome Harmon.
Louisville got the play they wanted. They had an isolation with Felton Spencer on the baseline. He just couldn't get it to go down.
Here's Darren Jenkins, a 69% free throw shooter.
They struggle all day, Greg, but they've got to make the foul shots. You know, they become more critical as time winds down. So he's got to make it, because the value being, particularly here, there's no time running off the clock.
There is the first free throw in 5 attempts, and now he's 2 for 6 today. 71-66.
Full court trap. 1-2-2.
Chancellor went for the steal and didn't get it. And now they'll slow it down. We're at 2:50.
There's a lot of time. The Golden Eagles have time. They need to make a good defensive stop.
LeBradford Smith off the baseline. And look at the foul by Harmon. That basket will not count. The foul goes against Louisville, and Southern Miss will shoot.
I'm telling you, but he came from nowhere. I'm watching him great. Now watch at the top of your screen. Now watch this. He comes from nowhere. And the official felt that he grabbed Darren Jenkins on the hand. Clearly, Jerome Harmon doesn't think that's the case. But that's the turnaround. That's a potential four-point turnaround, because that's the 2 points that Louisville would have gotten. And now, assuming that Darren Jenkins makes both of his foul shots, the 2 points that Southern Miss get.
Jenkins hits another one. Jerome Harmon looked over at us and smiled as if to say, do you believe that?
Jerome, they don't want us in that part of the game. We're over here.
71-67, Louisville. Jenkins with a chance to cut it to 3.
Presses up again. This press is a trapping press. They want to force turnovers. Southern Mississippi really would like to get a turnover out of it.
Holden back outside. Keith Williams for 3. There's a big hoop for Louisville. 74-68. Williams has 7 points. And there's a steal by Williams. Back to Williams by himself. The bucket and the foul.
You said it all, Greg.
MK Turk wants timeout.
Yeah, Denny Crum wanted somebody to step up, and MK Turk team just didn't handle the pressure very well. Keith Williams got a steal, a bucket, looking at a three-point play here.
2:13 to go. We'll be back.
Great anticipation, gets the ball out, starts the fast break, and then has a chance to be on the other end, and there's no question about the foul. But your seniors need to come through for you here, and I thought the three-pointer was a big shot, but nothing was bigger than the steal, because Southern Mississippi had a chance to get back into it, and this young man has an opportunity to get 6 points and with a steal in less than 15 seconds.
On the flip side, MK Turk's guys made 2 big mistakes, the bad pass and then the unnecessary foul at this end.
Yeah, they really did. I think in an effort to try to make up for the bad pass, there was a foul committed.
Add Keith Williams to the list of outstanding shooting from the floor. He is 4 for 4 from the field.
That's a tongue twister for you.
77-68. Approaching 2:05 to play. Remember, all alone at the three-point line. Now he'll take it. Doesn't get it. Jenkins up high and over Felton. Spencer.
They got Keith Williams for that foul.
And Everett Sullivan about to come back into the game for Louisville.
Keith Williams.
And he'll replace Cornelius Holden. Southern Miss now 0 for 10 from three-point range this afternoon. If they hit just 2 of those, they're in the thick of this.
Yeah, they're smack in the thick of it. And their timing, I mean, you don't want to miss them, but they've missed them at some very bad times for themselves.
Darren Jenkins makes it 77-69.
Now, Darren Jenkins, you see, with the 10 rebounds, has been able to be effective, mostly because Felton Spencer has been in trouble, but still able to be effective, even though he's 50 pounds lighter than Felton Spencer. The guy that really disappointed me, or I thought would play better, I should say, is Darren Chancellor. He's the guy that needed to score because they did a good job in covering up on Clarence.
Harmon will hold it up and throw it back outside. 1:45 to play, and there is the whistle and a foul called out front. Denny Crum won his 10th Metro Conference championship with a 12-2 mark. 6 times for the Final Four in the NCAA tournament, and of course championships in 1980 and again in 1986.
Well, the thing that's starting to happen with Denny Crum's crew now is there's being some comparisons made, because in '86, this team finished, that team that won the championship finished 32-7, and should Louisville win today, they'll be the same. They shot about the same field goal percentage, 52 to 53. And there's some other similarities which would suggest that they potentially could win the championship. But those numbers don't mean anything until you get out on the court and make it happen.
Keith Williams has made some things happen for Louisville today. Hits another one. That's a 9-point Cardinal lead. And you see the time remaining here in the second half.
This intensity that you see now by Louisville, that's the way they're going to have to play the entire NCAA tournament in order to be able to be successful.
Big foul by Darren Jenkins. 79-72, still plenty of time left, a minute 20. Here's Spencer on the inside, doesn't go, Witherspoon rebound. Now that one will go on Jerome Harmon. And that's 5 on Harmon.
Number 32, Jerome Harmon.
I mean, you see the field goal percentage there is just killed Southern Mississippi. First of all, they shoot about 51%, and they haven't made any three-pointers, and they've missed 9 free throws. So they've got all kind of problems, but yet they're still in the game. They're down 7 with a minute 10. As you see Jerome Harmon fouled out.
It's kind of amazing when you think about it.
It really is, but it goes back to what we were talking about. Louisville will let you back in the game if you can stay patient, and that's what M.K. Turk was telling his team at the top of the show. Stay patient, guys. Do what we need to do.
Darren Chancellor's free throw has them within 6 with 70 seconds to play. (79-74). Full court pressure. And the Cardinals handle it well.
Man with the ball is the real key, because they can always get it back to him as an outlet. And you got LaBradford, who's like an 80% foul shooter, so you've got some options to protect yourself here.
Ron Rembert gets the foul. And LaBradford Smith, who has had an outstanding day, will go to the line.
At the line, shooting one at the ball, LaBradford Smith.
In and out. Coming up on 40 seconds. Russell Johnson, three-pointer on the way. Boone took it out of the air, and now they want a timeout, and they get it. 36 ticks and the clock remains. Southern Miss is within 3, and we'll be back.
Look out tomorrow.
Anti-lock braking systems. All-wheel drive. Fuel injection. Multi-valve.
A problem in that the person you would rather have the ball is your poor free throw shooter. Keith Williams is only a 66% free throw shooter. The guy with the ball, LaBradford Smith, is an 82. And that's why Denny Crum wanted LaBradford to get the ball.
And LaBradford Smith will go to the line, the man they call L.A. at the University of Louisville. There's M.K. Turk. What a job he's done at Southern Mississippi. Arrived at the school 2 years after the basketball program went 0-24. That's called a project.
Well, I'm telling you, you got to give him a lot of credit to get through that.
But Bradford Smith missed the first one. Witherspoon rebound. Half a minute to go.
Great find. Great find.
Witherspoon with the bucket and the timeout for Southern Miss. That's their last timeout. They are within 1. Chevrolet players of the game today. Clarence Witherspoon of Southern Mississippi, who has 19 points and 16 rebounds so far. And LeBradford Smith of Louisville, who has 22 points and 9 assists. A check in the amount of $1,000 will be donated to each college's general scholarship fund to further assist qualified students in all chosen academic fields. 25 seconds remain. Louisville's lead is 1, and you can bet on a foul as soon as the Cardinals inbound the ball.
Oh, you can bet on that, and what I would do is try to force the ball to Keith Williams. Make him have to make the foul shot. You didn't expect LeBradford Smith to do it, but being he's an 82% foul shooter, you got to assume the percentages are in his favor.
And yet LeBradford Smith has missed his last 2 free throws, front ends of 1 and 1.
Nobody on the ball.
Everett Sullivan up ahead to Williams. And someone needs to commit a foul. Here's Williams. Far side to Smith, and Smith is fouled by Chancellor.
I don't understand why they didn't foul Keith Williams. I mean, I would have gone right at him. He had the ball, and that's where you have to foul is when he has the ball. Otherwise, you get an intentional foul where they get to take the ball out as well as shoot foul shots.
Bradford Smith will go to the line, and he's had trouble his last 2 trips.
Well, he looked over here after the timeout and winked at me like he knew what he was doing. We'll see. Must have knew. They're only up 2, though, now, so there's still a chance to go down and get a 3-pointer and tie this thing up.
$81-78.
2-2-1, try to slow it down.
Jenkins, far side, Russell Johnson. Fakes, puts it up, hit it! That's a 2-pointer. That's a 2-pointer. 81-80. And this game is over.
Well, it looks like he may have had his foot clearly on the line. I see that there's some chances trying to say that it should have been a 3-pointer.
The scoreboard has it as an 81-81 tie. We believe that's incorrect. Here's the look at it.
Yeah, there's no question. His right foot is clearly on the line.
Both officials in the back court signaled a 2.
Well, you see the one in the front with his hand down. The one right to the left of the screen got his hand down, already saying that it's a 2. If it's a 3, he'll put his hand up in the air. Well, they all thought it was 3.
The bench thought